So, hello students, we are back again and we are there on the fourth unit, that is entrepreneurial skills. And in this, we are there on the third session now, and that is entrepreneurship as a career option. See, some years before, there was a trend of people going after government jobs, but as we can see now, because of huge population and because of very few vacancies, this is quite not possible. And at present time, people are going after this entrepreneurship. See, at current time and current scenario, for some, this entrepreneurship is like a passion, and for some, the same entrepreneurship is like a fashion. See, for different people, the same thing can be different, can be taken as differently, but the fact is, fashion do not works as well as passion work, where the word, the zeal and passion will come, there the success will come. To all those who take it as fashion, success do not comes as it is expected. So whenever there will be passion for the entrepreneurship, then only the success will come. So we will be seeing here in this session that entrepreneurship can be taken as a career option, but to take it as a career option, a number of perspectives are there, a number of questions are there, a number of things are there which a person should know, for which a person should be ready. So let's discuss what are these things for which the person has to be ready in order to become a entrepreneur. See, if I ask you all how many of you want to become a entrepreneur, at current time most of you will not be able to answer this question, because for maximum of you there will be a number of options which is available and which you might have thought out, like becoming doctor or engineer, or a number of things are there which you might be have thought, but I guess very few must be there who might have thought of becoming an entrepreneur. So, like I said before, that entrepreneurship at current time is becoming like passion for some, and for maximum it is becoming fashion. So, maximum number of people are going after becoming entrepreneur. The fact is, in a survey, it is found that almost around 83% of the current youth, they want to become entrepreneur, a industrialist. But the fact which is there is कि in that 83% of the youth, only 5 to 6% of youth is there who succeed in achieving it as a career in entrepreneur. Only 5 to 6% are there who become successful in becoming a entrepreneur. So the question comes up, what happens to rest of the person who started up as a entrepreneur and they wanted to become an entrepreneur? The answer can be they will be searching for some jobs, and they will be working under some or the other entrepreneur. So the question is, what might have happened to those percentage of youth which do not become a entrepreneur? What might be the reasons, what might be the qualities which they might not be having, so as they are not as a entrepreneur but they are working under a entrepreneur? So if you want to know, and you want to know the answers of all the questions, that why they become unsuccessful and why 5 to 6% become successful, so for that we have to go through certain questions. And if questions which I'll be telling you, for those you get the answer as yes, then you can become an entrepreneur? There are a number of questions which I'll be telling you, describing you, and if the answer for all those questions comes up as yes, so I can say certainly that yes, you can become a entrepreneur. So the very first question which comes up is, what is my attitude towards work effort? See, when a person starts up as an entrepreneur, the very first thing he has to understand is that he has to now give more time to his industry or the business or the entrepreneurship which he is starting, because at initial stage the work which he has taken in his hand requires more time, more care. Now he has to set his preferences. The top more priority he has to give to his entrepreneurship. The families, the friend will come at last. Certainly he has to give more time, he has to work more hard. Now at the initial stage when he's starting, he cannot work with a given timetable or with a set timetable. He cannot set a timetable now that this will be the working hour for him, only these hours he will be working. No, at the initial stage or when it starts up, there is no set timing that when to start, when to stop. He may have to give more and more hour. He may have to work from the office where he's starting up. He may have to work from the other places where he's moving on. He may work from home or wherever he needs to in order to settle up the entrepreneurship properly at the initial stage. He certainly needs to give more and more time to his entrepreneurship in order to become successful. His families, his friend, his other works, relatives, everything will come at last. The very first thing which comes up is his entrepreneurship. So if the answer comes up as yes, yes, you are ready to give more time, you are ready to work without a timetable, you are ready to give the priority to the entrepreneurship first, then certainly you can become a entrepreneur. But there are certain more questions for which you need to give the answer as yes. And the next question which is there is, how much risk can I bear regarding investment and income? So there is always a risk regarding the investment. See, like we discussed before when we started this particular chapter, that whenever a entrepreneurship starts, it requires a income in the beginning. It requires finance in the beginning. So it is not always certain that a certain investment has been done and certainly the profit will come instantly. No, it is not going to happen. There is a risk, there is a big risk regarding the investment. It is not certain that the investment which has been done in the entrepreneurship, for sure the money will come out. It is not certain that the money will come out, and if it starts coming, it is not always certain that the total money will come out and person will get the profit instantly. No, the person has to be ready to take the risk of losing the money, the risk of losing the investment which a person has done, because entrepreneurship do not guarantees success. It is the person who will make it success, but at initial stage there is no guarantee that money will certainly come out. There is no certain time that after 2 months or 3 months or 1 year or 4 year profit will come out. No such timetable or duration is there. The person has to be very very patient in order to wait for the income to come out as a profit. So it is a risk which a person has to take if he wants to start up as a entrepreneur. So if the answer comes up yes, that yes, you are ready to take the risk for the investment, then certainly you can become an entrepreneur. there is always a risk when investment comes up. It is not certain that money invested will certainly come out or profit will come out. There is always a risk. So you give the answer as yes, and you can certainly become a entrepreneur only and only if you are there to take the risk. The next question which you need to answer as yes for becoming an entrepreneur is, what is my attitude towards independence or freedom? See, what happens whenever you work under somebody, you work under an entrepreneur, you should be ready to take orders. Somebody will be there who will be ordering you, who will be giving you the commands, who will be telling you, instructing you about your works, who will be giving you the instructions how to do a particular thing, who will be observing you, who will be controlling you all the time. That means there is no freedom. You do not have freedom in your work. You are there monitored every time, you are being given command every time. So if you are a person who do not likes to get commands from others, if you are a person who wants the freedom in work, who wants to give command, who do not want a person to observe you, so if you want freedom, if you want independence, see, freedom and independence means the style and working style will be yours. You will be deciding how to work, how not to work. Now you are free from getting the commands. That is what I want to say. Freedom in this thing. Now you are there, your own boss. You are there who will be commanding. So this is a freedom. When you are there working under somebody, no, there is no freedom. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, you should be ready to take decisions, you should be ready to take commands. And if you are ready for getting this freedom or independence, certainly. So if you have given answers as yes for the questions which we discussed before, certainly you can become an entrepreneur. And if you have decided to become an entrepreneur, then you must be having a thought and you want to convert that thought into a product or a service. And in order to do so, you need to start up your entrepreneurship, and for that, you need finance. A number of ways are there from where a person can get finance in order to start up his venture as an entrepreneur, in order to succeed as an entrepreneur, in order to achieve his dream. And those are, he can get from equity financing, the next is debt financing, and even he can get from governmental grant and support. So these three methods are there, these three ways are there from where a person can get finance in order to start up his venture. So if we see the very first one is equity financing. See, equity financing means getting fund from somebody, either that somebody is a person or somebody is a company or industry. But the fact is, they give the fund in lieu of some percentage from your industry, from your entrepreneurship. Means that if they finance you, if they finance your entrepreneurship, they will be financing it against some percentage they will be taking up in your industry. Say for example, you want to start up a entrepreneurship, a venture, and for that you need finance, and somebody comes up with the help, they want to fund in your entrepreneurship. And for that, what they say is, they say that they want 30% of the shares of your entrepreneurship. So that means in lieu of 30%, they are investing the thing which comes up is now the venture in which you were there as the sole person, you were having the 100% ownership. Now you will be having only 70% of the ownership. 30% will be there with the person or the industry which is financing in your venture, in your industry. So this is what we say as equity financing. And if we see it in more detail, we have two different types of finances, and those are angel investors and venture capitalist or private equity. See, angel investors are those investors who have huge amount of money with them. These are actually the businesses, the industrialists who are already there in the market, and if they see that your business will certainly succeed, they will invest in your business. So basically these angel investors, they invest one time in a industry, either at the starting up or when the industry requires the money for the upliftment of the industry. And when they do so, they do this for getting a share in the industry. Certain percentage of share they will be getting, and in return of the share they will provide the money for the business to start up or to settle. The next type of investment is gained by venture capitalist, or we say it as private equity. See, these are very clever one. They do not provide money directly from them. What they do is they provide money from somebody else, from some other industry, or from some other capitalist who has the money. Now they do not have the money. They get money from somewhere else and they invest in your business. So the basic difference between the angel investors and venture capitalists is quite simple, and that is venture capitalists, they do not provide their money, they provide money from somebody else. And angel investors, they have money and they invest their money in the industry. Now, the next method or the next way for getting the finance is termed as debt financing, and in it we have three. The first one is loan from banks and NBFCs. So basically, there are a number of banks which are ready to finance in a number of businesses. So if a person wants to start up a business, a industry, a entrepreneurship, so for starting up, the person can contact a particular bank who is ready to invest in their industry or entrepreneurship. In it, some are banks and some are non-banking financing companies. Means there are some financing companies which are not actually a bank, but they still finance and they can finance in your industry. And the next type in it is external commercial borrowing. See, these are those who do not reside in India. So basically, these are the foreigners, the lenders, the persons, the industries which are there not in India but the other countries, and they finance in your venture, in your industry. So when the finance comes up from somebody who do not reside in India, they are termed as external commercial borrowing. And the last one and the third one in it is venture debt. See, when a fund is provided to a venture backed company or a industry, it is termed as venture debt, and these finances are provided by some banks, even some agencies which are non-banking, and they provide a amount for backing up the industry, and that backing up can be for anything, that is for initial stages. So this is termed as venture debt. And in it the last one is government grant and support. See, it may happen that a person who wants to become an entrepreneur, who is starting up his venture as an entrepreneur, he has some investment with himself. He has some money with himself through which he wants to start up, but still he needs help of some amount. So what he can do is, if he do not want huge amount as a investment, initial investment in his industry, so, if you're talking about loans and lending money to start up the business, we have three schemes that is given by the government of India and for small businesses. And those three schemes are the Credit Guarantee Fund scheme for micro and small enterprises, the Mudra loan scheme, and Stand Up India scheme. So, if we see the very first one, and that is the Credit Guarantee Fund scheme for micro and small enterprises. See, this scheme is for micro and small enterprises. So, anybody who has a business which is started up, or anybody who has a plan who wants to start a business, can contact for getting the loan under this scheme. The maximum limit which a person can get is 1 crore. He can get a maximum amount of 1 crore rupees as a loan for his entrepreneurship, for his venture which he wants to start up. The next scheme is Mudra loan scheme. See, there are a number of banks and non-banking units which provide this government scheme, and under it, a person who wants to start a business or already has a business who wants a help in some money, they can apply in it and they can get a maximum of 10 lakh rupees for their entrepreneurship, for their business or the industry which they are going to start. And the third one is Stand Up India scheme. The Stand Up India scheme. So this scheme is for all those who comes under ST or SC, that is scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. See, all the banks have to give at least one scheduled tribe and scheduled caste borrower this loan. That is a amount between 10 lakh to 1 crore. This is a government plan, and to make it success, these banks, the Indian banks, they have to give at least loan to one scheduled caste borrower and one scheduled tribe borrower. And if somebody else wants to get loan in this scheme, then for that he has to have a partner, and that partner should be a scheduled tribe one or scheduled caste one. And the condition in it is that scheduled caste or scheduled tribe person who is partner in the entrepreneurship should be having 51% or more than 51% of the share with it in order to get the loan under the Stand Up India scheme. The maximum duration given to repay the loan back to the bank is 7 years, and the borrower